Hello, teachers. It is wonderful to be able to communicate to you on this platform. Innovation is key to our progress, the progress of our people, of our country, and of humanity as a whole. You are the innovation ambassador in your school, and I'm sure this is a great recognition, a great privilege, and a great responsibility as well. While we view innovation in the context of providing products and services, a few concepts that are very important for the success of any idea to go to market and become a business is something that your students will have to understand. And one of the key concepts there is about managing money well. Many a business have failed because they've not done this well, and we don't want that to happen to our mentees. There are three different types of capital. Number one is the physical capital, the infrastructure, the space, the people. Number two is the intellectual capital, which is the idea, the ability to improvise and innovate. And number three is the financial capital, the lifeline of the business, the mullah, the money that keeps it all going. This module, we're going to be focusing on financial capital. And to understand this better, we're going to draw some references to personal finance with a deeper level of understanding of what role money plays in your day to day life. You'll be able to help your mentees translate the same thing and apply the same thing in an organizational setup. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be very, very useful for your students? Yes? So let us go. Money, as we all know, is a medium of exchange. It allows you to exchange it for goods and services that you need and you want to purchase. And it also allows you to charge or get money for the services that you provide. For example, you get paid your salary for the services of teaching that you do for your school or for the government, right? And you being able to charge this salary, you're able to use this money to pay for other goods and services that you use and you need. For example, the telephone provider or the cab driver or your cook and maid or your stylist, right? So this brings us to the basics that there is income and there is expenditure. The purpose of all earning is spending. You may spend today or you may spend tomorrow. You may spend it or somebody else may spend it, like your children may spend it, right? The purpose of earning is spending. Now, given that the purpose of earning is spending, you also realize that every day of your life, you won't be able to earn exactly as much as you need to spend. There will be days when you will earn a lot more than you need, and there will be days when you will need a lot more than you earn. For example, early days of your career, if you're still living with your parents, you may be earning a lot more than you really need, right? But sometimes, for example, when you're putting your children through college or getting them married, or upon your retirement, your needs may be more than your earnings, right? So there is always this gap. Most of the time, there is this gap between income and expenditure. And then there are rainy days that happen too. How can you bridge these gaps? To bridge these gaps and to ensure that you have a smooth life and you're able to iron out these differences and that you have the right amount of money for the right purposes at the right time, you have to save. And you will be able to save when you earn more than you spend. So very, very basically put is that if your income is more than your expenses, then you can use that surplus amount to save and use it at the time when you need it. Okay, so the next question is, if the purpose of all earning is spending today or tomorrow, shouldn't you have enough money to spend when you need to spend it? Because you must have realized by now that expenses keep going up. And what you were able to buy for rupees 10 3 years back, today costs 15 rupees. Now, if you're putting money away or if you're saving money to be used in a future date when you need it, shouldn't you have enough money to spend? Shouldn't your money also, shouldn't it have grown to the extent of how expenses have grown, right? So it boils down to this point that just saving money is not enough. You should be also able to invest the money and invest it in a place where the returns or the money grows at a rate that matches inflation or does better than that. So just saving money is not enough. You should be able to invest it so that it grows at the rate at which your expenses also grow, and that you have enough money when you need to spend it. So next question in your mind will be, where can you invest this money that it grows at the rate of inflation at least, right? So there are many options for you to invest the money. You may be saving your money, or maybe investing your money for certain goals, for your children's education or for their marriage, or to buy a house, or to go on a holiday during the summer vacations, right? So your goals may be very different from my goals, depending on what you are saving your money for and how much time you have before you need to spend it. There are many investment options that you can choose from. Some of the most common investment options are, of course, your fixed deposits in the bank or recurring deposits in the bank. Also, post office options are there, NSE and PPF and KVP. So these are some options that are available. A little more aggressive option, of course, is doing a systematic investment plan in a mutual fund or investing in the stock market. These will come with some risks. Alternatively, you can also invest in a property or a piece of land. So these are various options that are available. Even for retirement, your employers may provide you with something like an employee provident fund, or you may have some superannuation fund, or the NPS, which is like the newest addition to retirement options. Right? So how do you make a choice as to where to invest? Is a big question. Sometimes when what you have saved up is not enough, then you will borrow. For example, if you have to buy a house, you will borrow money, and that's called a home loan. Or when you have to send your children to college, then you will take education loan. This loan, when you borrow it, it has to be repaid with interest. You can repay it over a longer period of time using the equated monthly installment scheme or the EMI. When there are so many demands on your money, it's very easy to spend more than you earn. When you do that, then that becomes very, very dangerous. And if you get desperate to recover all the money and go and make investments in wrong places, then in no time you can see that all the money or all your hard-earned money can be lost. And don't forget the rainy days as well. Bad things happen, and they should not set you back permanently. You should have the ability to bounce back from a health setback or a loss of a job, right? For these things is what we call personal risk management, and insurances come in very, very handy. Some of the most common insurances are life insurance, like a term life insurance to protect against early death, a health insurance to protect against health setbacks for you and your family, and critical illness and disability insurances to help for the allied expenses and to compensate for loss of income in case a critical illness or a disability happens. Apart from this, you will also insure your property and your vehicles. So these are some insurances that are very, very useful to ensure that protecting what you have is done before you go after what is in the bush. These above concepts of earning, spending, taking risks, investing, insuring, and even giving are all basic concepts related to personal finance. Now, in exactly the same way that you've understood this, the same thing can be applied in an organizational context as well. Every company needs capital. Now, your young entrepreneurs can get this capital from various ways. They can borrow from friends and family, or they can borrow from a bank or a lending institution. They can also raise capital in the form of shares and investor money. Right? They will have to basically understand this concept of, if they borrow money, they will have to repay it with interest. And if they have raised money in the form of capital, they will have to share their profits equitably with those who have supported them. Apart from this, your students should also understand the concept of taking risks in business. They should be able to embrace risk. They should not just jump into doing some random things that they don't understand, and they should also not avoid risk completely. They should know how to look at things objectively, think through various options, and manage risks, still embracing them for their benefit. After a business is set up and it's well running, a very, very important concept is the cash flow management. Managing income and expenses on time and creating a surplus of income over expenses and using that surplus to reinvest in the business so that the business can grow to be something that's very, very valuable. Now, how can you make sure that your mentees understand all of these concepts very well? The upcoming lessons and videos are going to be of help to you. This is our little bit in this journey for our young entrepreneurs and for the work that you are doing so that we have better products, better services, better opportunities, and a great country for ourselves. We are very excited to be sharing more learnings for you, and I hope you're going to enjoy this as much as we do. Happy learning.